The United States was, and now it is again, on what I would call an intentional trajectory to fulfill what famous Freemason Manly P. Hall described as the secret destiny of America, which includes a future national and global subservience to the God of Freemasonry, a deity that most Americans would not imagine when reciting the Pledge of Allegiance to one nation under God. In fact, the idea by some that the United States was established as a monotheistic Christian nation by those who designed Washington, D.C., and that the God referred to on American currency as a Judeo-Christian one, it's really a puzzling conclusion when reflected against the deistic beliefs of so many of the founding fathers, as you can see perpetually viewed in the so-called supreme architect deism of Freemasons, as well as the countless pagan icons that actually dominate the symbols, the statues, the buildings, the seals that were carefully drafted under official government auspices. The Great Seal of the United States primary among them, which Manly P. Hall, the famous Freemason, rightly called the signature of that exalted body of Masons who designed America for what he called a peculiar and particular purpose, concluding that America had been a heathen nation based on the symbolism of the Great Seal. Congress was pushed to create something reflecting the Christian faith of so many of its citizens. U.S. President and Freemason Theodore Roosevelt, he strongly opposed this idea, but other Masons weren't as frustrated with the plan because, given the ambivalence of the term God, and the axiom that, interpreted within the context of the Great Seal's symbolism, this certainly would not infer the biblical Christian God. Therefore, the slogan "In God We Trust," whoever you believe that God is, was accommodated by Masons and other Illuminatus who therefore approved as the official U.S. motto the phrase "In God We Trust." But this was to illustrate the point that one definitely would not determine that the God in America's official motto refers to the Father of Jesus. Imagine yourself as a space traveler who visits Earth in a fictional post-apocalyptic world. Digging through the rubble of the once thriving planet, you come across a copy of a U.S. $1 bill with the two-sided Great Seal of the United States joined in the middle by the phrase, "In God We Trust." Upon consideration, you ask yourself, what God did this refer to? And with no preconceptions, you allow the symbolism on the seal to speak for itself, from which you quickly determine that this had been a great culture who worshipped Egyptian and Greek deities, especially a particular solar one whose all-seeing eye glares from atop an unfinished Egyptian pyramid. Upon further investigation into the specific beliefs of the strange group whose members had influenced the Great Seal, you discover from their highest masters, including one illustrious Albert Pike, that the sun god they venerated so highly had been known to them at various times in history by the names Apollo, Osiris, and Nimrod, end quote. The Great Seal's mottos and symbolism relate to both Osiris and Apollo specifically, and yet as one. Osiris is the dominant theme of the Egyptian symbols, his resurrection and return, while the mottos of the seal point directly to Apollo, and the eagle, a pagan emblem of Jupiter, to Apollo's father. For instance, the motto Anahuac Coeptus, this is from Virgil's Aeneid, in which Ascanius, the son of Aeneas from conquered Troy, prays to Apollo's father, Jupiter, or Zeus. Charles Thompson, the designer of the Great Seal's final version, condensed line 625 of Book 9 of Virgil's Aeneid, which reads, Jupiter omnipotus, Audacibus Anahuac Coeptus, which means all-powerful Jupiter favors the daring undertaking. He condensed that down to Anahuac Coeptus. He approves our undertaking. While the phrase Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new order of the ages, was adapted in 1782 from inspiration that Thompson found in a prophetic line in Virgil's Eclogue 4, which reads Magnus ab integro seclorum nascitur ordo, from Virgil's Eclogue 4, line 5, the interpretation of the original Latin being, and the majestic roll of circling centuries begins anew. Now that phrase is from the Cumae Sibyl, a pagan prophetess of Apollo, identified in the Bible as a demonic deceiver, and it involves the future birth of a divine son spawned from a new breed of men sent down from heaven when he receives the life of gods and sees heroes with gods commingling. According to this prophecy, this is Apollo, the son of Jupiter, or Zeus, who returns to Earth through mystical life given to him from the gods when the deity Saturn, or Jupiter, returns to reign over the cosmos in a new pagan golden age, whose spirit will reside in the beast of Revelation 17:8. From the beginning of the prophecy, referenced on the Great Seal of the United States, here's what we read. Now the last age by Cumae Sibyl sung has come and gone, and the majestic roll of circling centuries begins anew. Justice returns old Saturn's reign, with a new breed of men sent down from heaven. Only do thou at the boy's birth, in whom the iron shall cease, the golden race arise. Befriend him, chaste Lucina, 'tis thine own Apollo reigns. He shall receive the life of gods and see heroes with gods commingling, and himself be seen of them, and with his father's worth reign over the world. Assume thy greatness, for the time draws nigh, dear child of gods, great progeny of Jove, or Jupiter Zeus. See how it totters the world's orbed might, earth and wide ocean, and the vault profound, all see enraptured of the coming time. End quote. According to Virgil and the Cumae Sibyl, whose prophecy formed the Novus Ordo Seclorum on the Great Seal of the United States, the New World Order begins during a time of chaos, when the earth and the oceans are tottering, a time like today.
First, in case you don't know who Yuval Noah Harari is, I'll play a couple clips for you so you get an idea.
Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design.
We are really upgrading humans into gods.
I mean, all this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news.
And he came out recently and said AI could write a new religious text. It could write a new Bible soon, and one that's actually true and real. Here's that clip.
AI can create new ideas, can even write a new Bible. Throughout history, religions dreamt about having a book written by a superhuman intelligence, by a non-human entity. Every religion claims our book, all the other books of the other religions, humans wrote them. But our book, no. It came from some superhuman intelligence. In a few years, there might be religions that are actually correct. That just think about a religion whose holy book is written by an AI.
I would love to hear Yuval's response to Bible prophecy, because the Bible is the only book that actually has proven prophecy, proving it was written by God through mankind. But I believe he probably knows this deep down, which is why he constantly only attacks the Bible. Now, artificial intelligence truly could create a new religion, and it could really fall into play with end times Bible prophecy. In Revelation 17, it talks about the great harlot in the end times. The term harlot in the Old Testament is a metaphor for false religion, and we know in the end times there will be a one world religion that will be taking place. In Revelation 17, it tells us, "Then he said to me, the waters which you saw where the harlot sits are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues." If artificial intelligence truly creates a new religion, we know that many peoples and multitudes could easily take part in this. God, of course, in his wisdom, gave us another prophecy because he knew these times would come, and that's Galatians 1:9, and that says, as we have said before, so now I say again, if anyone preaches any other gospel to you than what you have received, let him be accursed. That passage in Galatians says even if an angel from heaven comes, that's why if supernatural entities, such as whatever this alien phenomenon is, come to the earth and preach a different gospel, cannot believe them no matter what supposed evidence they have.